All right, welcome everybody to my workshop, my garage workshop, play space. I did a basic little setup here, 2 cameras, 2 lights, my little test dummy here, Zoom laptop, Adamus quad split over there. Nothing too crazy about this setup. In a traditional sense, I would have to walk around this set, adjust camera settings, walk to the lights, adjust lights, all that kind of stuff. But I think we can do a little bit more using some tech here. So here's what I want to show you today. Let's jump into augmented reality, right? Now I've got this little bar. I'm in my Meta Quest headset. It's running a version of Android. So I've got a lot of access to the different apps that you might have on your iPhone or your Android phone. Let's start with Zoom. Everybody's favorite messenger client. Let's throw that over here, right? There's my Zoom call. There's my laptop over here. There's my Zoom call. I'm in the call that would be the producer, overseas or in Canada or wherever they might be. I could see or hear, they could see or hear me, or I can mute up, do the same thing that Zoom can do, right? Okay, that's cool, has its limitations there. I can't really I could feed my headset view into this, so that kind of gets a little weird. But I can't feed anything else beyond that. So what else can we do? Let's get rid of Zoom. Zoom's gonna freak out. How about an HDMI capture card? I can feed a HDMI capture card via USB-C into this. So in this case, I'm feeding this from my Blackmagic quad split that's over there behind. This top left one's going to be my laptop feed, so that's just showing the webcam feed. It just had my other screen, but I just closed Zoom. And then I got my A and my B cameras here, and then, I could put whatever there. This doesn't have to be a quad split. This could be whatever. This could be a single camera. This could be anything just to kind of monitor a camera, right? That's pretty cool, right? And we can kind of walk in, right? We can see the different lag points between the different cameras and the webcam, obviously. Still pretty handy, pretty damn good quality picture, exposure, all that stuff. I'm not necessarily going to pull focus necessarily from this or proper exposure without tools on here, but it's something handy. And what I can do is I can grab this window and I can throw it over here, right? I can grab the corner of this window. That was actually as big as it could be. But I can grab this window, kind of throw it around wherever I need it to be. It's not limited to the monitor on the stand like I have over there. The joy of this, you can see I'm using hand tracking, so I'm not even using the controllers here. I'll step into my camera shot here so you can see I've got my headset. Just got a chest rig with a battery pack and a little DJI mic, but no controllers. I'm just doing this all hand tracking, right? Let me expand that window back out. Yeah, it doesn't like that I did that. Cool. So an HDMI capture card, just like your laptops, that opens the doors to a lot of different things. Let me minimize that one again. Where's my other bar? This is my little, my Windows start bar, right? I can kind of throw this around wherever I want to. Let's just leave it there for now. Seeing the cameras is cool. What about controlling the cameras? How about my FX3 with the monitor control app, right? There's my FX3. I can see and change all of these settings that are here. I can start and stop recording, right? I can go in, oh, what's this weird thing in the background here? Let's check. Let's pinch to tap, or let's double tap here. Okay, that's nothing weird. It's just this red light on this TV. Let's bounce back here. That's pretty cool, right? All the other normal camera functions, what do we got? Focus, I can pull focus manually. Let's go back to autofocus and get back on our dude here, right? The app also has some tools that the camera doesn't have, like false color. Now I've got false color in this guy, right? Gamma display assist, all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, maybe he's not shallow enough, right? Maybe I need to open him back up to a 1.4. That's a little too crazy, right? That's pretty cool. The FX9 does have its own app. It was working. I can kind of show a clip of that here. It works in a similar way. It's lower quality. For some reason, the FX3 is such a better camera than the FX9. It's been breaking my FX9 every time I've used this software, so don't recommend it anymore. But it does work in a similar fashion. I can control the FX9 and see it wirelessly streaming, which is pretty cool, not being limited to wires or anything like that. Back into real time here. There's my FX3. What else do we have? Well, lights or cameras are cool. What about lighting? Cool. Let's go into the NAND lights. I'm using two NAND lights, a 720 and a 60 here. I've got them both kind of punched in already here, right? There's my FX3. Let's pull up that quad split again, right? I'm going to hide that window. So the idea with the start menu down here, I have 3 windows I can kind of place that are kind of attached to this. I can also take any of these and I can create 3 other windows that are just somewhere in the room, not attached to this bar here, right? So in this case, I'm going to throw the quad split over there behind my cameras as my video village. Didn't mean to grab that. Let me get my FX3. There's my lighting control. So my light controls here. Let's bring them over here. Say I want to really sculpt and tweak this. Let's go into, let's check the backlight here. Let's kill the backlight. Let's start with just back up here with the daylight, with the 720. You know, I'm at like what 7-8%, right? And I'm just kind of pinching. Maybe I want it warmer or cooler, whatever I want to do. Obviously, there's a window in the back. When I was kind of setting this up, it's dark now. All right, now let's bring back your backlight there. Boom, right? Same thing. I can bring this window back over here, right? And I can see both my cameras now in this quad split view. Some of the other things, if I go back into here, what if I need reference material, right? It's a YouTube video or something in, say, my email or something else that was shared to me, something maybe like a style guide that a client put together, right? I have this in the same space, right? It's not tied to my phone, right? And the joy of all this is like, oh, this is all on the way. Well, let's just hide this. Now I'm back into the real world here, right? The view you're getting is what's recording from these cameras. The view I'm getting is that view projected into these little displays in my eye, so it's a little distorted when I get up and close to things. But I can walk around, I can watch the set, I can make sure to not trip over things or smash my head on things, right? And then when I'm ready to go back into AR, I just bring it all back, right? And then I can move and resize and pin these things wherever I want them to be, right? Which is really handy because it's like boom, boom, boom. I can see it all. I'm a remote DP. I'm a augmented reality DP here, right? Other things, I can obviously open a browser. I could check my email for call sheets or the calendar entries or Zoom, right? We've kind of talked about that. But I think this is pretty cool, this augmented reality. It's not true virtual reality because I am seeing the real space. But I think there's something to this down the road in the next 5 years when this gets to sunglasses size instead of full visor size that I'm rocking here, right? So that's my tech demo for today. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk, and we'll see where this goes in the next couple years.